The American pesticide industry generates over $14 billion a year. Meanwhile, Amish families across Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana are growing food on farms where the pest control budget is basically a flock of angry birds, some leftover wood ash from the family stove, and a 2-liter soda bottle filled with banana peels. And the wild part? Science keeps proving that these old Amish methods actually work. Some of them work better than the chemicals they never bothered using in the first place. These are 10 Amish pest control tricks that use 0 chemicals, and a couple of them are going to genuinely surprise you. But before we get to the list, you need to understand something. The Amish approach to pest control isn't just a collection of random hacks. It's an entire farming philosophy built on one simple idea, one that goes back to their Anabaptist roots in the 1700s. They believe soil is sacred. You don't poison sacred ground. So every technique on this list connects to a larger system where animals, plants, soil, and even fireplace ash all work together. Nothing gets wasted, nothing gets sprayed. With that said, let's start with number 10. Number 10. Guinea fowl, the loudmouth exterminators that Amish farmers swear by. Picture a gray-speckled bird with a bony helmet on its head, originally from West Africa, running around an Amish orchard in Lancaster County screaming at everything that moves. That's a guinea fowl, and these birds are absolute eating machines. A single guinea fowl can devour thousands of ticks, Japanese beetles, grasshoppers, June bugs, and spiders every year. Unlike chickens, they're precise. They pick insects directly off plants and leaves without scratching up the garden underneath. They'll also chase down mice, small rats, and even snakes. Betty and George Dotlich at Grovertown Fruit Farm in Indiana kept around 70 to 80 guinea fowl across their 22-acre orchard. They called it much better than buying pesticides. And Cindy Gibson, who runs Guinea Fowl International down in Texas, tried every commercial pesticide she could find for a grasshopper problem before getting guinea fowl. The birds solved it. But here's where it gets interesting. Guinea fowl also work as a living alarm system. Their shrill call carries over half a mile, and they will scream at hawks, raccoons, coyotes, foxes, and strangers coming onto the property. For Amish families who don't use electronic security systems, that's a pretty handy bonus feature. Breeders actually have a term for something called revenge sales, where people buy the loudest guinea fowl they can find specifically to annoy complaining neighbors. You need a minimum flock of about 10 birds for effective coverage on a property. Now, one honest caveat. A 2024 study published in the Journal of Medical Entomology found that guinea fowl didn't actually reduce Lone Star tick populations, and the birds themselves sometimes carried ticks. Penn State Extension now says they don't eat enough ticks to meaningfully decrease tick populations, so the tick claim is more nuanced than the folklore suggests. But for grasshoppers, Japanese beetles, and general garden pests across an Amish homestead, these birds are the real deal. Number 9. Chicken tractors that turn poultry into a precision pest control workforce. A chicken tractor is basically a mobile, bottomless coop, a lightweight wooden frame with wire mesh that sits directly on the garden bed with chickens inside doing what chickens naturally do. They scratch, peck, eat bugs, and fertilize the soil all at once. Amish families move these structures to a new section of garden every few days before planting season. The chickens devour grasshoppers, Colorado potato beetles, slugs, grubs, larvae, and basically every ground-dwelling pest in their path. They eat weed seeds, reducing next season's weed pressure. They aerate the top layer of soil with their scratching, and they deposit nitrogen-rich manure exactly where it's needed. By the time a chicken tractor has worked a bed for several days, the soil is naturally fertilized, pest-free, and ready for planting. No chemicals, no rototiller, no purchased fertilizer. This integrates perfectly with the traditional Amish mixed farming system, where dairy cattle, horses, pigs, and poultry all share the same farm. As one Amish commenter put it, chemical farming didn't really start until after World War II. From the fall of Adam until the early 1900s, all farming was natural. Chickens were pest control long before Monsanto existed, but this next one involves something that's been around way longer than chickens. Number 8. Diatomaceous earth, a 30-million-year-old weapon that insects can never outsmart. This one sounds like science fiction, but it is real. Diatomaceous earth is a fine, silky powder made from the fossilized remains of diatoms, tiny aquatic organisms that lived 30 million years ago. Amish gardeners sprinkle it around plants, inside chicken coops, along barn foundations, and around the edges of garden beds. Here's how it works. Under a scanning electron microscope, each particle of diatomaceous earth looks like broken glass. When a slug, ant, beetle, earwig, or cockroach crawls through it, those microscopic shards create hundreds of tiny cuts in the insect's exoskeleton. The waxy outer layer that normally keeps moisture inside gets destroyed, and the insect dies from dehydration within about 48 hours. A 2024 study using advanced respiratory measurement confirmed exactly this mechanism. The particles increase the insect's outer shell permeability, causing fatal water loss. And here's the part that makes this different from every synthetic pesticide ever invented. Because diatomaceous earth kills through physical damage, not chemical reactions, insects cannot evolve resistance to it. It has been used since the 1930s, and it works exactly the same today as it did almost a century ago. Try saying that about any chemical pesticide on the market. The catch? It does not discriminate. It will harm beneficial insects too, so Amish gardeners avoid applying it near flowers where pollinators gather, and it needs to stay dry to work. Rain washes it away, and you have to reapply. Number 7. Companion planting combinations that Amish women have refined for over 300 years. This one goes deep. Amish gardens, which are traditionally managed by the women of the household, use very specific plant pairings that have been passed down through oral tradition and hands-on apprenticeship across generations. The most famous combination is French marigolds planted alongside tomatoes. And it's not just the scent keeping bugs away. The marigold roots release compounds called thiophenies that actually alter the chemistry of neighboring plants. A 2019 study from Newcastle University, published in the journal PLOS One, proved that French marigolds protect tomato plants from whiteflies through airborne limonene emissions. And the University of Florida documented marigolds suppressing 14 different types of plant parasitic nematodes through their root secretions. But marigolds are just the beginning. Basil with tomatoes repels whiteflies, aphids, thrips, and tomato hornworms. Nasturtiums planted near beans act as trap crops, sacrificing themselves by drawing aphids away from the actual food plants. Mint in contained beds along garden edges deters rodents and ants. Rosemary planted throughout the garden keeps away carrot flies, snails, and slugs. Research from the Rodale Institute found that planting tansy and catmint alongside potatoes was between 58% and 100% effective at repelling Colorado potato beetles. That's comparable to chemical pesticides from plants you can grow for free. Number 6. The 2-liter bottle bug trap from Adams County, Indiana. This one was documented firsthand by Kevin Williams, who edits the Amish Cook newspaper column and runs the Amish 365 website. He observed this device being used in Adams County, Indiana, and it is brilliantly simple. You take a green 2-liter soda bottle, pour in sugar and vinegar, stuff in some banana peels, fill it halfway with water, then hang it from a low tree branch with string, spacing the bottles about 20 to 30 feet apart. The trap works as a triple attractant system. The sugar sends a sweet scent that draws insects from a distance. The vinegar creates a fermentation smell that bugs associate with rotting fruit. And the banana peels release natural chemical compounds called esters that actually mimic insect pheromones. The narrow bottle opening works as a one-way funnel. Bugs crawl in and cannot figure out how to leave. Williams reported that it takes a few days for the bugs to show up, but once they do, these things really turn into a hotel where the insects check in, but never leave. The traps catch flies, mosquitoes, yellow jackets, wasps, and gnats. Green bottles work best because they blend in with the foliage. Replace them every 2 to 3 weeks. For Amish families who socialize outdoors all summer without air conditioning or electric bug zappers, these simple bottle traps hanging from the oak trees around a gathering area are the difference between an enjoyable evening and getting eaten alive. If you are finding this useful so far, hit subscribe. We cover Amish traditions, homesteading, and off-grid living every week. Now let us get to some methods that are going to surprise you. Number 5. Wood ash from the family stove, a zero-waste pest barrier. Every Amish home in America runs on wood heat. No electric furnaces, no gas lines, just a wood-burning stove that operates all winter long. And all winter long, that stove produces wood ash. Rather than throwing it away, Amish families collect that ash in covered metal containers and stockpile it for spring. When planting season arrives, a light dusting of hardwood ash around garden plants creates a barrier that deters slugs, snails, and soft-bodied crawling insects. The salt content desiccates them on contact, and the fine particles physically abrade their protective outer coatings. Wood ash also controls powdery mildew when sprinkled on squash plants at the first sign of infection. Amish families in Etheridge, Tennessee, specifically test their soil pH before applying ash, since it's strongly alkaline and can harm acid-loving plants like blueberries. Think about the elegance of this system. The byproduct of heating the family's farmhouse in winter protects the vegetable garden that feeds the family in summer. Nothing purchased, nothing wasted, everything cycles back into the land. Beyond pest control, hardwood ash also supplies potassium, calcium, and magnesium to the soil. It connects directly to centuries of European peasant farming tradition. The Amish ancestors, who were denied land ownership back in Alsace and Switzerland, learned to extract maximum value from every single resource, including the residue from their fires. That mindset carried across the Atlantic, and it's still alive in every Amish kitchen garden today. That's the Amish approach in a nutshell. Number 4. Garlic and hot pepper spray that kills pests but leaves the bees alone. Amish gardeners make a homemade insect repellent by crushing garlic cloves and hot peppers, combining them with water, and letting the mixture steep overnight. After straining the liquid into a spray bottle, they apply it directly to affected plants. Some add mint and rosemary for extra potency, or a small amount of Castile soap to help the spray stick to leaves. The chemistry is straightforward. Sulfurous compounds from garlic, particularly a substance called allicin, repel soft-bodied insects. Capsaicin from hot peppers irritates virtually all animal pests. Research at Auburn University confirmed that garlic spray repelled insect pests from cabbage plants, and additional studies showed garlic juice can actually kill certain insect species, not just deter them. But here's why this matters so much for Amish farms specifically. This spray works through repellents, not toxicity. Bees and butterflies aren't deterred by garlic and pepper compounds the way pest insects are. For a community that depends on robust pollination for their large kitchen gardens and fruit orchards, and that doesn't have access to commercial pollination services, keeping the bees alive while removing the pests is absolutely critical. Number 3. Tobacco water, the ancient pesticide that a billion-dollar industry accidentally copied. This might be the most surprising entry on the entire list. The Amish recipe is simple. Soak 1 cup of dry tobacco in 1 gallon of water overnight. Strain through cloth. Add a few drops of liquid soap to help it stick. Spray it on affected plants. Nicotine, the active ingredient in the tobacco, is a fast-acting nerve toxin in insects. It kills whiteflies, gnats, aphids, thrips, leaf miners, and slugs on contact. Some Amish variations include boiling a bar of Fell's naphtha soap into the mix, along with mint mouthwash for a broader spectrum spray. Now here's the twist that should blow your mind a little. Number 2. Crop rotation, with 300 years of Amish discipline behind it. Crop rotation sounds basic, and honestly it is. But the Amish practice it with a level of consistency and intentionality that goes far beyond just moving tomatoes to a new bed next year. A typical Amish field rotation cycles through corn, then oats or barley, then legumes like beans and peas, then cover crops like rye, clover, or buckwheat over multiple years. After every harvest, the soil gets immediately covered. Amish gardeners never leave ground bare, because bare soil is considered neglected stewardship of God's land. The pest control logic is fundamental. Insects and soil pathogens that accumulate around one crop simply cannot survive when that crop disappears and something completely different takes its place. Corn rootworm, Colorado potato beetle, and various nematodes all became major agricultural problems only after continuous single-crop planting became the norm in the 20th century. Research from Penn State University found that diversified rotations using integrated pest management achieved yields within 10% of conventional chemical systems. And a Finnish study, running from 2005 to 2017, published in Frontiers in Sustainable Food Systems, showed that diversified rotation improved spring wheat yields by up to 30% compared to monoculture planting. But the deeper Amish advantage goes beyond rotation itself. Because Amish families have been saving seeds from their healthiest plants for generations, they've been doing unintentional selective breeding for local pest resistance. Their heirloom corn, bean, and vegetable varieties are genetically adapted to the specific bugs, diseases, and climate of their communities. 300 years of patient observation baked right into the seed. And number 1. The Amish farmer with an 8th grade education who changed how 4 million acres of farmland fight pests. This is John Kempf, and his story might be the single most fascinating thing in American agriculture right now. Kempf grew up Amish in Northeast Ohio. Like all Amish children, he finished formal schooling after 8th grade, at around 14 years old. In the early 2000s, his family's farm got hit with devastating crop failures 3 years running, from 2002 to 2004. Insects and disease were destroying everything. But instead of reaching for heavier chemicals, Kempf did something remarkable. He spent 2 years teaching himself plant physiology, entomology, pathology, and immunology from scientific textbooks and research journals. What he discovered turned conventional farming wisdom on its head. Properly nourished plants, Kempf realized, develop immune responses so strong that pests essentially ignore them. The science behind it is elegant. When plants get optimal mineral nutrition, especially trace minerals, they produce complete proteins instead of free amino acids floating in their sap. Leaf-piercing insects like aphids can digest amino acids, but they physically cannot digest fully formed proteins. Well-nourished plants also produce natural defensive compounds that activate something called systemic acquired resistance, a genuine immune response in the plant itself. Kempf documented this with dramatic real-world proof. Cantaloupe plants growing on soil that had been treated with heavy pesticides showed 80% powdery mildew infection. The exact same variety, planted the same day on neighboring untreated soil, showed 0 infection, a knife-edge line between sick plants and healthy ones, determined entirely by soil health. He founded his company, Advancing Eco-Agriculture, in 2006 at 18 years old. Today, his methods using kelp extract, humic acid, and targeted micronutrient corrections are deployed on over 4 million acres across North America. Modern Farmer profiled him. Plow Quarterly interviewed him at length about his philosophy of working with the land rather than against it. An Amish kid with an 8th grade education solved a problem that the chemical industry spent billions trying to spray away, and his solution wasn't a new product. It was feeding the soil properly so the plants could defend themselves. His consulting work now spans farms growing everything from row crops in the Midwest to orchards in the Pacific Northwest, and conventional agriculture researchers are starting to take the plant immunity concept seriously. That's really the thread connecting every single method on this list. The Amish don't fight nature with chemicals. They design farms where nature fights pests for them. Guinea fowl patrol the orchard. Companion plants confuse and repel insects underground. Chicken tractors prepare beds. Wood ash from the winter stove feeds spring soil. Cover crops suppress weeds between seasons. And crop rotation breaks pest cycles across years. It's not 10 separate tricks. It's one integrated system that has been refined over 3 centuries by communities who never had the option of calling an exterminator. If you want to see more about how Amish farming practices are changing modern agriculture, that video is on screen right now. Subscribe so you don't miss it.